we have some thoughts on what happened at the spring game. Mac is going to go over. Do you want to talk defense this time, or we're doing offense, right?
I honestly didn't have a ton of notes on the defense just because I thought they played really well.
Yeah, the defense seemed pretty solid, and it sounds like everybody else thinks the defense is solid, and it's almost like, okay, well, the defense is solid. Now we can talk about the
Yeah.
offense. So we're going on that. So, all right, let's get into that then. So overall, we're talking offense. How do you think the running backs? Well, I'm sorry. How do you think the offense overall is looking?
Yeah, I mean, offensively, overall, I thought things looked pretty good. I mean, it's a spring game. It's difficult to really evaluate position groups because, they did the whole draft thing. And we were just talking about this. I think that, like I was saying, it's difficult for position groups to be evaluated properly because they did the draft. So the players were kind of shifted all over the place. You had twos and one. It wasn't really a truly ones versus twos kind of a thing, which is good. You want to see how the players do on their own outside of being in their position groups with their normal, I don't know, position group teammates. Whatever. All of the position groups overall were pretty solid except for kicker. That really sucked to see. Hopefully he improves, but man, in any case, I think we have a good idea of how things are going to shake out position group wise once Michigan gets to fall camp.
All right, let's talk about some of those position groups then. Running backs. What do we have?
Running backs, we have guys who can run the ball. So I'll start with Donovan Edwards. Donovan Edwards, obviously, I think he's wrapped up running back one pretty well at this point. I think the two things that I wanted to see from him was his vision and his patience. So last year, a year before, but I think last year especially, he kind of had a problem where he would sort of jump the gun. The hole wouldn't necessarily develop for him. The blocks wouldn't develop necessarily, and before he took off running some other direction, and that's kind of why he didn't really get as far as he did in 2022. From what he's been saying, he's trying to develop himself to be more of a Blake Corum style runner. Now, I feel like that's going to mean some patience and stuff like that, but it also means that he's getting a good little pop in his step. He's getting that shift, that shimmy from left to right. He's jumping, he's doing that jump cut type thing that Blake Corum did against Alabama in the Rose Bowl to score that game-winning touchdown. Whew, that was a thing of pure artistry. Absolutely love to see it. Edwards is kind of starting to develop into that, which is really interesting because at one point we were thinking Donovan Edwards would be the next Hassan Haskins. He'd be the thunder to Blake Corum's lightning. Well, now Donovan Edwards is kind of turning into the lightning to Kalel Mullings' thunder. Kalel Mullings looked really good as well. I think in terms of running backs go, the man of the match is probably Tavier Dunlap. Um, Tavier Dunlap, I think, was the most consistent of the runners, but of course it's the spring game, so he was the one that got the most touches. I mean, Donovan Edwards had a couple of really good plays and then they pulled him. But yeah, I mean, I think overall the running backs are looking really good. I think Jordan Marshall even got a couple of touches, which is great. I'm really excited to see how they develop.
Let's move
And
over to wide receivers. What do we have in the wide receiver room?
not a lot. I mean, what they do have is great, but they're definitely going to need to look for a portal addition here. It was Kirk Campbell and even Freddie Moore, I think it was, mentioned, acknowledged, I should say, that Michigan is in desperate need of bringing in a wide receiver or two through the portal. If I had my druthers, I would even, probably be okay with getting three through the portal. Keandre Lambert Smith might be one. I don't know. But what they do have is actually pretty good. It's clear that they've got wide receivers that don't mind run blocking the way that we've gotten used to with Michigan receivers. If you're a receiver at Michigan, you'll be able to catch the ball for sure, but you need to be okay with run blocking. And these guys seem to be the type of players that are totally cool with run blocking, which is just awesome to see. I mean, you've got Tyler Morris seems to be in the lead for wide receiver one at this point. He had the touchdown against Alabama in the Rose Bowl. Really solid player, good set of hands there. Samaj Morgan had some clutch moments in 2023. Almost had the punt return against Iowa for the touchdown in the Big Ten championship game. Uh, Shout out to that Iowa player who chased him down. That was a good play by you. Kind of wish he had scored, but whatever. Great play. Love to see it. Freddie Moore was kind of the star of the show for the wide receivers as far as I'm concerned. Freddie Moore had that 48-yard touchdown in the fourth quarter to push the Mays to a 10-point lead. I mean, he outran everybody. And that was kind of a broken play, too. I mean, he ran his route right into the sideline. Didn't go out of bounds. Was smart about that. Had spatial awareness there. You love to see that from a guy. I think he's rather young still. He then had to kind of pull himself back a little bit and bail out Davis Warren. Davis Warren was scrambling too. Davis Warren showed some mobility on that play and was able to make the throw, keep his eyes downfield to make that throw, which was just, it was incredible. Great play by Freddie Moore and Davis Warren there. And then you got Kendrick Bell. Kendrick Bell, the little brother of Ronnie Bell, who I understand to be both faster and taller, I believe. Also had himself a 42-yard touchdown. I mean, he ran a great route. He outran his defender. It looked like his defender, Joshua Nichols, who was on the coverage there for the defense, looked like maybe he lost him there for a little bit. But either way, that route, I mean, he just right by him. And that was a thing of beauty there. And then the pass by Davis Warren, again, a thing of beauty. I mean, we'll get to the quarterbacks in a second, but Warren was on it. Honorable mention for me is Peyton O'Leary. I guess he hasn't really seen the field that much. Of course, that might change with Michigan being in dire need of some wide receivers now that Carmelo English and Christian Dixon and Eamon Dennis have all transferred out. Thanks a lot, guys. Also, best of luck, but you're dead to us. I think the wide receivers, what they do have, are obviously really good. They just need more of them.
Sam Hartman's looking downfield for Adrian.
Oh! Carter almost has a one-handed catch.
Almost.